Yay. Alright. There we go. Hey everyone. Good evening. And welcome. You're all gonna have to forgive me here. You don't have to, but I ask that you do because of how tired I am, and that's probably gonna bleed into this episode a little bit. I woke up very early for a shift today, so here we are, back at it again. Oh, hey, Christy. It's good to see you here. Uh, let's see what we can do with this. And we got that going. Cool. Ish. Uh, you know, I'm actually really glad you're here. Because it feels like most of the people that come to these live streams are the Dan and Eric fans, and I love all of you for being here. Anybody who's here is just, I deeply appreciate you. But I very rarely ever get beatboxing fans over on the channel, so I or in these live streams rather. So thank you. Yeah, uh, I love beatboxing. It's so cool. Yeah, it's just I don't know how to explain it. The other day at work, uh, because something that I do in my downtime or when I'm actively doing a task is just beatbox to myself, and oftentimes I'll hear, "Oh wow, that's really cool. I could never do that." And I look at them and I say, well, sure you can. You just don't want to. and and there's nothing wrong with that, but just completely destroying your ability to say, or completely destroying the potential you have to say that you're incapable of doing something is wrong. You shouldn't like crush yourself down to what it is that you're capable of. You're capable of so much. um, Granted, I've been beatboxing very casually. Like I'm not someone who goes out to compete for beatboxing, so I'm not someone who's constantly trying to evolve my beatboxing to a professional level. Uh, I was able to get hired for beatboxing gigs, sure, but to where beatboxing is today and the level it's at, I'm not at that level, but I am very musical with my beatbox and I really enjoy it and it feels really good to do. And just making weird sounds, is just so fun. Uh, hey there, hello. um, Hello from Berkeley, Michigan. I have to get my hot water tank replaced. Oof. Oof. That is brutal. Wishing you the best there. Uh, the classic boots and cats I see. Uh, yeah, but there's whenever I have a lot of downtime to myself, which isn't a lot, but whenever I get the opportunity, I like looking into a mirror and figuring out new routines that I can make. And if I make a sound accidentally that I've never made before, I'm going to spend hours trying to replicate it. um, and an example of that would be I I don't know if I could really call it a liquid bass, but I was playing around with my tongue position when I do a lip roll, which is And when I play around with my tongue, it's really interesting. And I've been trying to figure out a way that I can incorporate that into a beat, and it's not easy, but I'm working on it. But anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the show. Yeah, we're we're back again. I'm sorry I don't have a ton to go into because I'm just exhausted. um, the charismatic voice just did a video this morning on trying to analyze Wing. It was pretty hilarious. Yeah, Elizabeth is a really exceptional vocalist. So but beatboxing is very niche, and I wouldn't necessarily call it an esoteric art, but it feels like it. Especially the classical vocalists who learn voice through a very specific style, and I'm sure that video is hysterical. Um, Speaking of which, I've tried reaching out to the charismatic voice, and I have gotten no response. So I'm just gonna assume that the hopes of a collaboration with her are just down the toilet, unless I can somehow get to I can somehow make the channel a million times more popular so she'll notice me. No, she already does. Like, she already has noticed me because she left a comment in my video reviewing her, but I don't think that a collaboration is in the future, so I'm sorry to whoever asked for that. But Wing is a really great beatboxer for multiple reasons. Before he blew up with Beat Pella House and a bunch of other videos that made him popular, like Dopamine, for example, uh, I always really digged his combinations and sound and style. Like, I remember there was an online beatboxing competition, and his groove was so smooth and consistent. Or what? Or something like that. I forgot the groove. It's been a long time since I heard it. I think it came out in 2020 when everybody was isolated, so the online beatboxing competition was huge for the scene, and he was participating in it, and one of his grooves was so good, and I loved it so much. Oh my gosh, it was so good. and his groove and his sound and his style, his combinations are just crazy. Even his short work, not even his long stuff, even though that's great too. Yeah, Wing is an exceptional beatboxer, and I really dig his stuff. But I was asked not too long ago who my favorite beatboxer was, and that's a really difficult question because there are several artists who have, in my opinion, their greatest song, that their greatest song is nearly tantamount to a bunch of other beatboxers' greatest songs. Like, I think Footbox G is an exceptional beatboxer. Uh, Tomazakre had the heaviest hitting bass sounds I've ever heard. My style is heavily influenced by Codfish and Bobbly, and Reaps One. Like there's, it's really difficult to narrow it down because, again, like B Art was able to use his vocal fry in such a creative way alongside his incredible liquid bass throughout his masterpiece. And D-Lo, obviously, the biggest the biggest toolbox of any beatboxer, and can use those sounds very creatively. Um, Zhang Jie, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not 100% confident in that, but he has a beatbox slash guitar slash singing track he does, which is really good, and I love it, and that does not get enough love. Um, Den, an exceptional beatboxer. Jordox, his sounds are so raw, but it just hits you in a certain way. Oh. uh, let's see who else. Pechen Kata is, in my opinion, at least from what I've heard so far, the greatest female beatboxer I've ever heard. Her sounds are so heavy hitting, so impactful, so clean too, but also really raw and so powerful. And her sounds are just awesome. Trung Bao, his combinations are crazier than Wings, and he's awesome. Oh my gosh, there's a Stitch. His masterpiece, Feels Like Nothing. Oh my gosh. His 626 effect, he's the one who popularized that. That's an incredible sound. Like, there's so many amazing elements from different beatboxers, and all of their sounds are so unique and crazy that I really can't just narrow down, well, who's consistently your favorite? Well, I don't have a consistent favorite, because every single beatboxer makes songs that I deeply love and songs that I don't really care for. So there's not really a particular beatboxer that I really lean all in with. But well, hold on. Maybe Shogo. Shogo is pretty consistent. He's awesome. His combinations are so smooth and beautiful and musical. He's amazing. So maybe Shogo. Let me catch up. I kind of went on a tirade there. Please check out Kaji and Wing eliminations if you get the chance. Sure. Like, that's something that I haven't done on the channel yet, and I don't know how popular that's going to be. And I'm experimenting with some content ideas right now, as you guys might have already seen, maybe not, of my radio broadcast episodes where I just deliver life stories, but those aren't popular either. But I don't have to worry about copyright for them, which is critically important. But doing battles, I keep entertaining the thought, but I never fully commit to it. So we'll see. We'll see. Because it would be nice to start listening to the battle scene again, because there are a lot of really great tracks in those eliminations. The basses he uses is very sloppy chest bass with a trumpet lip position, he explained. Sloppy chest bass. I can't do it right now. I could do a throat bass. No, I can't do it right now, but maybe later on in the day, after I've warmed up a little bit with a trumpet. Interesting. Did you react to the Bass Gang's version of Ghostbusters theme? I have not reacted to it yet. The Bass Gang has been producing a fair amount of content recently, and I've wanted to do at least one of them, because I was able to actually interview Peter Barber, for those that don't know. That video is on my channel, and it was awesome being able to talk to him. he and I have had very similar upbringings in terms of our musical upbringing, rather, and being able to connect over that and talk about Avatar as well and just nerd out over the nerdy things. It's a really great time, and we had a really great conversation with that. So I want to try to keep up to date with his music too, but there just hasn't been a really good opportunity to do that yet. So yeah, I might do the bass gang sometime soon. Um, and Ghostbusters is as good a song as any, honestly. So, yeah, I'll give that a go. Sure. Uh, there's no guarantee though, and I don't know when I can get to it because there is a lot of other music that I have to jump on. Um, Dan, did you try to reach out to Peace Beats and Dan Blackwell to maybe do a collab? I did reach out to Dan, but I haven't heard anything back yet. But that was also very recently, so I don't know how that's gonna go. Peace Beats, no, not yet. Uh, I'm living in the wrong decade. I saw Wing and thought of Paul McCartney. You know, John, I actually saw Wing, Paul McCartney's Wing, live, and I thought that was a really great experience. At the even at the time though, I could start hearing Paul's voice start aging away, and it's really hard to see because even though he's still touring and he's still selling out stadiums and things like that, you go to see the legend. You don't go for the music, and that's really hard for me because as someone who deeply appreciates the legends of music and the people who go out on stage and perform their stuff but are well past their prime and just don't sound anything like they did in their prime, it's really, really difficult. It's like watching your dog age, you know. You formed such a close relationship and with a particular, either the dog or a particular music, and you finally get the opportunity to see that person live and it's just not good, and it's so hard because you have so much immeasurable, ineffable respect for that artist, and it really hurt. I saw both Paul and Ringo in two different concerts, and Ringo's still doing his thing, but he's also past his prime, and it's just hard, man. Uh, I even heard Placido Domingo. Uh, I want to say four 4 years ago, something like that. And his voice is still lovely and it's still well maintained, but he just lost so much of his stamina, and he's in his 80s. So for an 80-year-old, he sounds really amazing. But it's just so hard. It's so hard watching these people you grew up listening to in their primes just just get old. Like, I know it's natural, but it doesn't make it any less difficult. Um, but yeah, there's it's hard. It's hard. Um, let's see. What's let's think about some topics, some ideas. Uh, because I every so often I go back through my YouTube comments and I do read all of them again. I say that at the end of every video. I read all of the comments. Um, and there are times when I go back and reread a lot of old comments, just to see, this is where I was, this is where I am now. Have I actually taken a lot of the criticism? How have I internalized people's comments, and or how have I not internalized people's comments, and different things like that. Just to see how I've grown in my channel from where it started. And Dang. Or I saw Stevie Nicks in concert and her voice was definitely changed. She's aged, but I wanted to see her one last time. Yeah, absolutely. It's about seeing the legend. Um, but yeah, it just comes down to the point of what does, like, how do I phrase this? Here here here's one. So when I look back at a lot of my videos of Dimash, for example, there is a reason why I do not cover Dimash anymore. I don't cover um, Diana Ankudinova, Gabriel Enrique. And the primary reason is because these artists not only have a powerful fan base, which usually isn't a problem for most people, but it's the fact that these artists specifically are placed on pedestals. They are gods amongst men. They are the absolute quote unquote greatest musician of the universe or of this generation, or they're just the best, uncontestable. They are perfect, and there's no room for criticism. Any criticism is a slight against them. And that is heartbreaking to me. Uh, because even if 200 opera singers all said the exact same thing about an artist, which is, oh, he's great, he's doing all of these things well, oh, XYZ, and I come along and I say, yes, this was really good, I don't care for it, and here's the reason why, all of a sudden, the world comes crashing down. My opinion is not only unwanted now, but it's slander and it's wrong, even though it's an opinion. And people just have no idea that they're defending this parasocial relationship with an artist that doesn't even know who they are. But I understand it because it feels like I'm slandering your musical tastes, which again isn't the case. People love a wide variety of music, of which I don't necessarily care for, but I love a lot of music that a bunch of other people, including other professional musicians, don't care for. Everybody's unique and an individual. But also, and I can't stress this point enough because it's the most important point that I'm going to make, music should not be about saying this artist is the best, this artist is the greatest. That's not the point of music. That's not the point of art. Art is an expression of self, and people cultivate that and curate that and craft it to their own style as to what it is that they want to express. Now, there are people who are capable of producing a wide variety of skills that they've crafted using their intrinsic talents in order to better produce their art in ways that have never been seen before or heard before. And that is wonderful. And I think that is exceptional. And to constantly carve new frontiers in music after however long music has existed by this point is just exceptional, and that deserves praise, absolutely. But to say that they are the best at something, it's just so meaningless to me. Like it's like what's your favorite thing of this particular category, and I really don't like choosing favorite things. I'm just someone that enjoys things, you know. It to actually sit down and reflect on well, this is my favorite color, my favorite restaurant, my favorite band, my favorite this. The hard thing about that is if there was a world in which that thing no longer existed, yeah, I could get a new favorite, but that defeats the point of enjoying that thing. Instead, I can just enjoy this whole variety of things, not put any specific on it, recognize the contributions they made to the field in which they are providing for, and call it a day, you know? Oh, hello there, Leonardo. Toxic fandom is a nightmare for reaction content creator or for covers. Yeah, dude, it is just. Uh, like, it, I have nothing against the people that are performing music that I don't care for. If a person specializes in, say, vocal acrobatics, and their voice is just going all over the place with incredible precision and breath control, that is awesome. I'm sure it is dazzling to some audience. I'm just not that audience. And I'm going to let people know that it is okay to be trained in music and not like very skillful things. It's like if a professional Japanese chef were to go to the premier burger maker of America and they were to try the best burger in America, but the only food they really enjoy eating is Japanese food, um, then they might not like it. But that doesn't mean that the burger is bad. It just means that they themselves have a specific taste and preference. And they can still recognize the incredible skill, talent, and cultivation that went into creating the perfect burger. So, um, the level of disrespect and the amount of people that just abhorred me for giving not even harsh but minor critiques on some of these artists, it was just brutal, dude. um and that's something else too. People don't even realize that I could be 1,000 times harsher than what I'm saying in my videos. If you go through my entire repertoire of videos on YouTube, you will notice that, or if you go through all of it and you find the video that has the most critique in it, know that that critique could have been 1,000 times more intense. um when I was in university, I had professors slamming me, just grinding their knife deep into my work, uh, in order to become a better musician. They genuinely, in their heart of hearts, wanted their students to be excellent musicians. And the only way you can do that is to not just call out the minor details they're doing wrong or even the critical details they're doing wrong, but to drill it into them as hard as it will go. This is unacceptable in the style in which you were performing, or this is unacceptable in the music in which you are writing, or these are certain elements that will cause this effect to audiences. Therefore, you need to cultivate it and craft it in a differing way in order to better express what it is you're attempting to express. And I love that style of teaching. That style of teaching isn't for everyone, but it helped me a lot. Yes, and I'm also someone that likes to be spoken to um, with kindness and with you know not a lot of hostility. But if I encounter someone who does embody that more rugged, coarse, much more direct and uh, intimidating style, then I have no problem learning from that. And when I comment and criticize in my videos, I'm always making the effort to say, here's the things I didn't like, but here are the things that I did like. And here are the things that I respect about this artist. But people don't hear the latter, they just hear the criticism. And if other professionals don't say that criticism because they're too afraid to say it, or they just genuinely think that the goods overall outweigh the criticisms, then everybody's going to internalize that as a direct attack and completely ignore the positives that I've said. So I'm still going to be truthful and honest to who I am, which is I'm going to critique when I think there are things to critique. I'm going to be amazed when there are elements that amaze me. And I'll appreciate the moments of novelty that I don't think contribute well to the music, but is a skill that the vocalist or the artist themselves obviously spent a long time trying to cultivate and master and incorporate into their music. So, who am I to say that a certain skill doesn't belong in music? I'm just one guy. I'm a well educated guy in music and in coffee, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm just a guy who has his own preferences and tastes like everybody else does. We're just all doing our thing, and we can all appreciate each other's opinions and values and just keep moving forward with that. Uh my favorite something changes with my mood for the day. Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. Um, react to Gabriel Enrique Diamond? No, no, I'm not reacting to Gabriel Enrique anymore. I only had one Gabriel Enrique video on my channel, and it was so heavily hated from his audience that puts him on a pedestal. Um, that I just completely said I'm no longer doing any of his videos. I and the it's again, it's really important to note. I think Gabriel has a wonderful timbre. He has cultivated his voice well, and he has incredible vocal control and spent a lot of time with his music. That is wonderful, and I wish more musicians did exactly what he does. I do not like his vocal acrobatics. He is constantly going all over the place, and it does not serve any real meaning to the music itself, the integrity of the music itself. It's there to show off this wide vocal range, which is dazzling and novel, and I can see the appeal to it. It's just not appealing to me, and I don't like it. And I expressed that in my video, and the amount of hate that I got for that is too much for me to want to make another video about it. But you can see it on my Patreon. So go to any one of my other videos and click the link for my Patreon if you want to see it there. But otherwise, and you'll have to dig for it, unfortunately, because that video is just it was just not good. um, not good in terms of the video that I made, but the response to the video. So I no longer cover him for that primary reason. But with that said, wow, we're already 30 minutes in. Well, this is exciting. Right after this, I need to film another video. And then I need to make food because I haven't eaten today. And then I should probably go to the gym after that, but I need to let the food digest for a minute. So I'll probably edit after filming for a little while, and then I'll probably hit up the gym after. I'm sorry. Something I was thinking about was there's this niche show that my girlfriend introduced to me a few months ago, and I haven't seen the show, but I've seen clips from it, and it's called Clone High, where it's a high school made up of a bunch of clones of legends throughout human history. So you'll have Abraham Lincoln, Cleopatra, Gandhi, like all in the same classroom, JFK. and and John F. Kennedy was the student representative, and he's just in front of the school like giving his speech, but all of these clones are their own people, just with the physical appearance DNA of the person that they cloned, or that, yeah, the person that they have been cloned from. And JFK is just he's a little asinine. And when he's delivering his speech, he's just going to the front of the classroom, just saying his workout routine. And it's not even a good one. It's just so bizarre, but he has so much confidence in it. And it's just hysterical. And he has so much charisma, like the real JFK did. But the reason the real JFK had so much charisma is not only because he was a young buck, but because he knew how to speak to the audiences in which he was speaking directly to. He knew how to be proper and formal, but he also knew how to bring out that Southern charm. He knew how to speak directly to each of his audiences and target each of those audiences in a way that spoke to the people, which gave him that higher pedestal feeling and secured his victory. Um, yeah. Excuse my question, but what are you making for dinner? Well, that is a good question. Actually, I'll tell you this. I pretty much, whenever I have meals at home, every morning is eggs and a bagel or toast. If I actually have time to make lunch, which is usually no, but if I do have the time to make it, it's probably a sandwich and an apple. But I ran out of apples. So just a sandwich, maybe some chocolate milk. And not and at night it's a salad. Always a salad, a Caesar salad. The protein will vary on what I pair with it, whether it's salmon or marinated chicken or something, but it's always a salad. Um, and that's in due to my efforts to lose a little bit more of my body fat, get myself a little bit leaner. I'm so tired of my neck fat. It drives me nuts. Um, Not because I'm necessarily self conscious about it, because there is an element of that, but it's more of when my beard grows, because I don't shave every day. Um, when my beard grows, the it grows pretty quickly. So when I look down and my neck fat just kind of goes up a little bit, uh, it scratches into the rest of my facial hair, my beard. So it I would like to have that not happen. So I go to the gym more and I regulate my diet. But uh, that being said, I still love food, and once a week I will go out and uh, go to my favorite diner that's just across the way from me, and I'll sit down. The people are just beautiful people. The coffee is nice. The food is exceptional. The prices can't be beat. It's just such a good feeling, but it's not good for me. So I only do it once a week or once every other week. Um, and that's my cheat meal. But outside of that, I'm pretty healthy, and I try to maintain that healthiness. But it's hard because my eating schedule is irregular, very irregular. My sleep schedule is also very irregular. Everything's irregular. I'm very bizarre. um, but yeah, to answer your question, TLDR, it's a salad. I'm making a salad. uh, oh my goodness gracious. Well, what about you guys? Tell me the things that have been going on, or I don't know. You guys have any specific questions for me or anything? Talk to me. Tell me things. Sorry, it's starting to get a little hard to read. Oh, okay. A favorite dinner place is awesome to have. Uh, yes. Let me think if I have a favorite dinner place, because that diner is more of a breakfast place. They're only open for breakfast and lunch, but I only go for breakfast. Um, a favorite dinner place? Do I have a favorite dinner? Oh my gosh. I really like Korean barbecue. I like tempon. I like sushi. I like Filipino food. You know what? I do. There is a ramen shop. It's on the second floor of the small little outlet. And it's an extremely small store. Only a few tables and uh, just this wall booth that goes around the store. Again, very, very small restaurant. Um, and people hardly even know it exists. But their ramen is some of the best ramen I've ever had. And their appetizers, you can't go wrong with any of them. I love all of them. I haven't tried all of them, but the ones I have tried are just amazing, and I've tried a lot of them, at least the majority. Um, and I'm a sucker for takoyaki. For those that don't know, takoyaki is uh, octopus surrounded by fried dough with various toppings on top of that. And the toppings and the way the batter is made are the things that make each takoyaki different. And this place, it's just so delicious. It's so good. I always get an order of it when I eat my ramen there, and I don't go to that place that often because it's pretty far away from me. But whenever I do gather the strength to go out there just to have a bowl of ramen, oh my gosh, it's just delicious. The meat melts in your mouth and the noodles are so nice, and they're the the actual broth itself is just so rich and savory. Oh, it's just mouth watering. Oh, it's so good. And yeah, and service is quick too. I love it. I absolutely love it. That's probably my favorite dinner spot. Um, and that would probably only be tied against. There is a sushi restaurant that's not actually too far from that place. So I also don't go there a lot because, again, it's far away from where I am. But they have this meal where for like, I want to say it's $40 for about $40. all you can eat sushi and appetizers. Their appetizers include takoyaki and udon, and it's delicious. Um, and their sushi is exceptional sushi. It is really, really good. Maybe not Michelin star good, but it is really good. And it is a wide variety and all you can eat. And I cannot stress that enough. Oh my gosh, it is so good. The only reason why I don't order udon there anymore is because udon is so filling and I have to eat the sushi and the sashimi and things like that. Oh my gosh, so good. So good, dude. But yeah, both of those places are probably my favorite. Um Sorry, I have to read these comments. It's getting hard. Speaking of body shape, in your experience as an opera singer, do you consider the body size? Do you consider the body size has to do with the voice? No, absolutely not. Because so your body is your instrument and you need to take care of your instrument to perform well. That much is certain. But I have met tiny, small, like I'm talking 5 feet and under, very slim opera singers with robust and full sounds, especially for women. Sopranos, really small women, just producing this powerful, angelic sound. In the same way that I had and a colleague of mine, she was 6'3", and produced a very lyrical, softer sound. You look at, and for men, you look at, Luciano Pavarotti, very heavy set, large man, beautiful, just this beautiful voice and this really rich sound. It is just so dazzling. And you also have people like my last voice teacher. He's about my height, about 5'11", maybe a little smaller, and has a slimmer body shape than I do, but his voice is so much more deep and rich and sonorous. Oh my gosh. He probably has the greatest singing voice I ever heard. Like, to me personally, styled to me personally. It was so beautiful. And it was such a privilege being able to sing under him. I absolutely adore his voice. And his style and sound and way of singing. But that being said, the size of your body isn't the thing that matters as much, but you do have to take care of your body. And that's something a lot of people will misconstrue in terms of, well, if it's not about body shape, then I can get fat. Well, you can do whatever you want, but you're damaging yourself. The more of a specific type of food you eat, the more it's going to cause health problems, and those health problems will affect your voice. So as long as you're being healthy, then it's not about your size. And it's not just about healthy things. It's about, especially when you're training for something really important, like the premiere of a show, or you're doing a really important audition for something, then you can't have certain foods that have dairy, for example, or a ton of sugar, things that can cause phlegm and congest. And there's a million and one things that people are going to say and do in order to maintain maximum healthiness or maximum vocal health, at least. But in my experience, if you're about to do a show or an important audition, don't have milk or anything with dairy. Tea is always really good. Not extremely hot tea. I'm saying what I am saying is do not have things that are 200 degrees. Do not have things that are 160 degrees. 130 degrees is good. When you are getting ready for a show or an audition or something. And yes, I'm aware that it's not very hot, 130 degrees. It's more warm, but this is about vocal health for a certain event. But again, if you don't have anything important coming up, do what you want. Like, just as long as it doesn't kill you or others, or hurt you or others, like whatever. But TLDR, to answer your question, body size doesn't matter, but be healthy. I'm excited. Oh my gosh. I'm excited for new original music and album from Eric coming this year. And his 2 sold-out shows in May. He'll also be doing a video for each new song at some point, too. Oh, that's awesome. I'll be sure to jump in on those. Does the place you work have food items? It does. But I can't eat them. The food at my work causes me a ton of chest pain and is incredibly greasy, and I absolutely hate it. So I just don't eat at work. But our water is filtered, so I'll have our water, or I'll make some tea or something. But yeah, I don't eat food at work, not anymore. Sounds delicious and a bit hidden magical place. I'm Swedish, so if I'm around that area, I might find it. Yeah, well, sure. Man, I would love to visit Switzerland at some point. And Sweden and just that massive area. There's so many countries I want to visit, guys. Oh my gosh. Sweden. That's a place that I've only seen a few photos of that were just absolutely breathtaking. I don't know if that's the whole the pith of what Sweden is, but I really do wanna see it at some point. Yeah. Morgan James is a tiny lady, and her voice is so powerful when she's saying "Dream On" with BMJ. Yeah, I mean that is a video on my channel already. And yeah, I thought Morgan did an exceptional job. And yes, that's a perfect example as well. Another person that I can reference is honestly my sister. She is shorter than me, which drives her nuts because I'm her younger brother. But she's still pretty tall. I want to say she's like 5'8" or 5'9", and she's very, very slim, like in her body composition. And I'm very wide, not necessarily in terms of fat, but broadness. And in many ways, not just in our physical appearance, but in many ways, we are the antithesis to each other. But we also do find a lot of common ground on things. But both of us are vocalists, and we both pursued opera for a while until we realized that, well, we both left opera for different reasons. We can both still perform opera and still both enjoy performing opera. So it's not that we fell out of love with the art. It's more of she found a different calling that more spoke to her, and she was vocally hurt from her former teachers, and she didn't really get to where she wanted to be as a performer in the field of opera, so she transitioned into acting. And with me, I did not like the opera scene at all. I still don't. It is just awful. and it's not just, so when it comes to competing for roles, I understand that it is a cutthroat business. Everybody's going to step on each other to get exactly where they need to be for themselves. I understand where that comes from. It's just not something I enjoy being around. I love opera because it's an art that I love to execute, not because I want to step on people or I want people to step on me in order to get certain roles. And even then, even if I do go through that nightmare just to get that role isn't going to subsidize my income. I was asking the casting director of the Los Angeles Opera, which is a top tier opera house, and I asked him, "What do your top performers make?" So to me, this is in reference to, if I were to be able to make the top echelon of vocalists at the Los Angeles Opera, what would my time investment and actual return of income be? And he said opera singers make about 70% of their income at the Los Angeles Opera. The lead roles do about 70% of their income. The other 30% is done through individual voice lessons performing for other companies. And for those that haven't, which I'm assuming is most of you, for those that haven't performed an opera before, that is the most time consuming thing I've ever done in my life. Because first, you got to order the book. Like, I have one right here. This is for The Damnation of Faust. Faust. And in the book, you're going to have a ton of music. And what I do, and what most musicians do, is you go through the entire score, you highlight all of your parts, you understand the entirety of the story, so you have to watch the opera at least once, but you're probably going to do it multiple times. So you understand the pacing of the story, what the story's about, how the main characters interact with each other, with the chorus, etc. What the music sounds like, things like that. And then, the moment you figured all of that out, then you go back to page 1 and you start translating the entire opera. Not just your lines, the entire opera. Because you have to know where you're at in the story in order to execute certain emotions through the piece. Faust, for example, is done in French. So you are translating all of the French into English. And on top of that, if French isn't your first language, because it certainly isn't mine, and it is the hardest language for me to sing in personally, out of the main 5, which is English, Spanish, Italian, French, and German, then you need to use something called IPA, or the International Phonetic Alphabet. And you need to break down every single word in IPA to understand how to pronounce each of these words. Not speaking those words, but singing them. Creating different vowels and elongations to ensure that you are doing that well. And then after you do that throughout the entire score, then you go back to page 1 and then you start putting in areas and where you can actually breathe. You start rehearsing each of your main points individually and say, okay, this is a spot that I'm going to take a quick breath. It's not written into the music, but I can't maintain this certain cadence all the way to the rest at the end of the cadence because of the breaths that I needed to take in the cadences prior. So these are the points that I'm going to breathe. This is where I'm going to connect lines, things like that. And then after you do those things, then rehearsals begin, where you meet up with the rest of the cast. You start going over everything that you've learned. And by this point, your score should almost be memorized. And then, you start, after the memorization, then you start blocking it. You do choreography with it. You start getting tailored for all of your costumes and things. You get an idea of what your makeup's going to be, and then you start going onto the stage itself. You don't get a lot of time on the stage because it's usually being used for other things. So you do a lot of blocking in smaller areas and try to visualize it to the stage as best you can. And then you go onto the stage, you figure out where you're putting everything, doing everything, and then showtime. And it's just so much work, dude. And you just do not get compensated enough for that level of work. It is crazy, dude. So at the end of the day, I made the decision just to say, you know what? I'm going to still enjoy opera and still enjoy performing opera, but it's not going to be for an opera house. I'm going to mold that vision into recitals, small recitals, where I can perform for an intimate group of people and truly give my full heart and soul to what it is I'm performing and have my audience fully engage with me so I can fully engage with them and create beautiful recitals globally. That is one goal of many that I have. But first, I have to get YouTube off the ground to be my full total income so I can begin traveling the world and fulfill not just my life's purpose or life's task, but also engage with those recitals as well. Oh, wow, I missed a lot. Dan Vasquez said he only drinks room temperature liquid, mainly water, as hot or cold affects his voice. It does. It absolutely does. Room temperature water is the way to go. But I will say, I love hot drinks. I love cold drinks. I especially love cold water. It feels good and crisp and it feels nice going down. But that being said, can't do it before a performance or an audition or something. Room temp is the way to go. I was surprised at the singers that smoke cigarettes, like Katy Perry and Bruno Mars. Yeah, I mean, everybody has their own thing. I knew plenty of opera singers that smoke weed. I did for a very long time, and I kind of caught myself falling into that hole again. But I'm staying good about it. But yeah, everybody manages stress differently. I do my best to reflect and to work out a process in which I can trust and develop with adaptations to ensure that I'm going to be okay. But yeah, everybody manages stress differently. Oftentimes the way that people begin to manage stress is not a way that works in the long run, and people recognize that, but it's already become a habit. And if you guys have read Atomic Habits or The Power of Habit, then you would know that breaking habits is already difficult, let alone something as addictive as nicotine contributing to the consistent desire to keep smoking. So it's hard for people, but you know, it's just a part of them, and it's part of their life journey, and however it is that they're going to continue that process. Let me keep reading. Tara Simon is a delicate and slim lady, but good lord, what a voice and charisma. Love her duet with Eric. That video is on my Patreon already. Wow, I was stunned. I was dazzled and impressed. I am very appreciative I saw that video. That was really, really good. I really enjoyed her performance. I hope she sees it. I hope both of them see it. That duet with Tara was amazing. Yeah, it absolutely was stunning. Had to listen to it a few times. If she would do a duet with Tommy Johansson, that would be cool. I just think of Edith Piaf. Talk about a big voice in a small package. I don't think I know who that is, but let me take a quick look at that really quick. Let's do a little search. Oh yeah, I know who that is. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Not big, but with a big voice. Absolutely. Usually you change the addiction you have to another addiction. Hard to stop totally. Oh yeah, dude. when so okay. So I said this in one of my radio broadcasts. I think it was my first episode where I was giving more of a pretext to what it was that I was about to dive into. I started taking very long walks when I was in elementary school in order to manage stress. And those long walks continued throughout college. Um, I used to take long walks from 10 p.m. to 1 to 2 a.m. When I was in college, especially. Uh, and I would just build a world, a fantasy world that I can engage with during those walks to keep myself occupied and to manage the high level of stress that I was facing at that time. And then I went off to Germany and I studied abroad over there. And when I was in Germany, I could drink over there. And there was a local bar in a very small town. I think it's south of Berlin, or maybe it's just south of Stuttgart. But regardless, it's called Trossingen. It's a small little music town, and it's beautiful. I loved it there. And they had a little bar, and the staff there loved Americans. They were so excited to be drinking with us and to have a good time. And that's when I started my alcohol addiction. And then I became an alcoholic. And I'm like, wow, this sucks. So I came back to the States, trying to curb that. And then I found weed. I'm like, great, we got this. I stopped alcohol, but here we are with this. And I kept that consistent for several years. And that it was good in the beginning, but it ultimately made me miserable. So I was able to stop it. Now I just put so much of my time into my work. Not so much as a workaholic, although some might contest that point. Uh, but I do work myself pretty rough. And I am still trying to not fall back into any negative habits or any holes that I used to fall into. But it's all a journey, and progress is not linear. Um, and I will say something else that's really important too is when I experience antagonism around me, it's really difficult to not want to participate in the antagonism, but rather keep focusing on the mission, on the goal of producing goodness in the world. And it is tough. It is tough. Not falling into bad habits, bad reactions to things. It is hard. But we make do. Um, has anyone seen the videos where Eric Grunwald reacts to music reactors reacting to Eric Grunwald? I wonder if Eric has watched any of Dan's reactions of his covers. I mean, I have no idea if he's seen me or not. It'd be cool if it has, or it would be cool if he has, but I don't expect it to. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. But again, it would be cool. But you know, whatever whatever. I don't make these videos for people to come back to me and react to them. Um, I make them for you guys, so I'm glad you guys are here. We put reactions to Eric on his Discord for members, and sometimes on his weekly members, he'll pick one of those reactions and watch it. Oh, there you go. No, I most miss that. Need to look at all that. Oh, there you go. But with that said, guys, we're well past the hour mark for this live stream. I want to take a nap, but I can't. I'm my gosh. I'm starting to become loopy. um, I have to get stuff done, and I'm really thrilled that all of you guys were here for this live stream. It means a lot that all of you guys are here still watching these live streams. I've gone back and forth so many times about should I even continue this since people don't really show up to them, but you guys do, and that means a lot. So thank you guys. I can't express my appreciation for you guys being here enough. I do like doing these, and it's just it's a nice break from making a video for today. And just being able to engage with all of you guys, it really does mean a lot. So thank you guys. And with that said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening, day, week, wherever you are. And I will catch all of you on the flip side. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.